Thank you, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Dennis, okay, sorry. Let me introduce myself. My name is Eddie Santos. I've been in the industry for about 19 years. So I'm celebrating my 20th year this year together with Robert. I think Robert's a little bit older than me in the real estate industry. Now, how did I start as a real estate broker? Way back in 1995, I was actually a stockbroker. And then comes now the Asian crisis, 1997. The golden years of the stockbroking was about 93, 94, 95, 96, then the bubble burst. In 1997, the market crashed. So I was working for an Indonesian firm called Dalmala Securities here in the Philippines. And then I was handling high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals. So these were people who were investing in the stock market heavily, and they were individuals. One day, 1997, Barron's crashed, and the market also slumped. So one day, our boss called us in his office and said, "You know, as of today, all of you are fired because the company went belly up." So what happened was, I was calling all my clients and telling them that we're going to close the company at the end of the month, and I'd like to say goodbye, this and that. And many of the high net worth individuals said, "Sayang naman, we have real estate properties. Why don't you handle it? You have it rented, you have it sold, or whatever." So that's how I began my real estate career. Now, how long did it take me to close my first deal? It took me 2 years. 2 years to close my first deal. And it was a rental. So you guys are very lucky right now. You have mentors like Robert. You have wonderful people who really, like CityRev, my home organization, where you could rely on, and they will constantly educate you and share experiences of what the wonderful but somewhat stressful world of real estate is like. I'm also the master franchisee of Remax, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. It's actually among the top 5 most beloved franchises in the world, together with McDonald's, 7-Eleven, Dunkin' Donuts, and UPS. The reason I brought the system here, I really wanted to professionalize the broker system here in the Philippines. So how do you professionalize that? By putting in honest-to-goodness registered licensed brokers into the system, give them constant education, and then at the same time expand their horizons. What is ultra high net worth sales? Ultra high net worth sales are sales over 200 million and above. So I see colleagues here like Diane Lacson, Pati Arambolo, Baby Hernandez, who else? And many others. These properties are mostly in the villages, the Sports Park, the Marinas Village, and Urdaneta Village. Now, you may ask, does all of these properties sell at that price? Case in point, this is one of the more infamous properties that got sold. In 2004, the house of Rita Venecia burned down to the ground. Sadly, his daughter was also in the house, and she passed away. The house was made of bulletproof glass, and there was also grills. So she wasn't able to escape, sadly. So in 2004, it went to the market for 65 million pesos. Okay, after staying in the market for about 2 years, 65 million pesos, it got sold. They tore it down, built a very beautiful Ramon Antonio house, and today they're going to sell that property. It's about 300 million pesos. In 1986, the house of Elvira Manahan, she was murdered in that house together with her 2 companions. I think Bambi was the one who drove it, I'm not so sure. It went for 50 million. It's about 2,500 square meters. Went for 50 million. There's a very beautiful French-looking house. It was purchased by the French national government, which is now the house of the ambassador of France. That same house today, if you're going to sell, it's about 600, 700 million pesos. And then there was the Maureen Hockman case, 1991. He was shot by the troubled son of the Chief Justice, Claudio Tihanki, namesake. Random shooting lang. They were at a party, they don't know each other. And then the three teenager, Maureen Hockman, Giuliano, and a third guy, the son of a diplomat. They were just driving by Campanilla Street where they reside, and this guy shot them. And he spent the last few years of his life in jail. Of course, who would forget the haunted house in Dasma? Mahogany and what street is that? Mahogany and Dasmariñas Avenue. It was torn down. Many people who have this house rented, they always claim that there's a baby crying inside. So now the realtors don't actually touch it because after 6 months, the tenancy terminates. So it was actually torn down and then a brand new house was built. It was sold for 75 million. It was rebuilt and then now, I think last month it sold for 660 million. The builder built it and after 3 years built a very good, it sold for 660 million. So what I'm telling you, any property within the village basta prime nabebenta, whether tumbok, whether may multo, whether nasunugan, it really sells for the right price. I also remember Robert sold one of the most strangely cut properties in Dasma. It's the shape of a key. So yung entrance na is 5 meters and then it goes like a balloon inside. Very difficult to sell and yet it sold. It was back in Tamarin, it floods, there were pylons and the buildings of the MCI overlooks the perimeter property in Dasmariñas village, but it still got sold. Okay, this is one property we handled. This was the wish list of the owners. It has to be sold as a pair, 2 adjacent lots, number 9 and number 11, Flame Tree Road, 5,178 square meters. It's an old dilapidated house, circa 1950s. The buyer must buy 100% shares of stocks, and not the traditional sale, but 100% shares of stocks. Property sits on 2 lots and must be purchased at the same time. And then they have to pay the correct taxes of 100 million pesos. There were feuding family members, four family members, and the owners kept changing price and terms. 5 years in the market, we actually got to sold this last month. The first known 1 billion peso sale in the market, and all the taxes were properly paid. Now, who made the most money? After all of these, it's not the heirs. It was the lawyers who charged 88 million pesos for their services. So biglang naging co-heir yung lawyer. Diba? So what I'm saying is, I can't imagine where the market is headed. Properties are at an all-time high. Last Saturday, my staff went to Robert's listing in Bel Air. It was one of 4 houses we showed. Yours was the second choice. The first choice of a client was sold. You know, the asking price was 200 million pesos. And then, it was so fast that the seller said, my property is 491 square meters. So 200 divided by 491, it's about, let's say it went for 400,000 per square. About 400,000 per square. Okay, when we were closing, we're doing the due diligence. It turns out that it's 461, not 491. And yet the buyer still bought it. So it was a listing, I think, of Patty. It stayed 1 day in the market. The day she listed it, the next day we brought a client and it got sold. So I just don't know where the market is really headed. Right now, there's a lot of market flowing out there, not just Chinese, even local funding. Now, number 11 McKinley Road. It's owned by an American. He actually was allowed to own the property way back in the 60s because of the American Act allowing you to own a property. Number 11 McKinley Road. There used to be an old house on it, but through the years, it fell dilapidated. 2,333 square meters. And the property is across Manila Golf and backing Polo Club. You know who the lucky owner is right now? No, it's not me, it's not me. Philippine government. By law, if someone dies and there's no heirs, it's the Philippine government who owns it. Time and again, we've been trying to purchase it. The government's wise enough to say no. We offered to buy it for a client 15 years ago when the property was worth 60 million and they still hold on to it. At the recent price of 300,000 per square in Forbes, that's about a little over 600 million. The Chu property, which was down the road, the showroom of Discovery, was actually sold recently by one of our Remax franchises also. Now, comes to another interesting topic, your best friend or your worst enemy. Who here has had experiences with the feng shui? Dami, no? Sometimes deal breaker. Done deal, then all of a sudden, the feng shui will say, ay sir, mamamatay kayo dito. Sabi ko, pag hindi ito matuloy, talagang may mamamatay dito. Ikaw. So many of my transactions, even Filipinos right now, they do feng shui. So if there's any feng shui classes out there, I'm actually interested in doing feng shui, understanding more about the feng shui. These are some of our top agents in the world. Kathy, when you say international division, this is actually the whole world except North America. Because the money values in North America is like in the tens of millions of dollars. So we have two rankings, one for the global ranking, one for the international. So this is Kathy, number 50. A dear friend, Marisa, who owns Remax Prestige. She ranks number 11. Myself, ranking number 2. And then Junjun Kamkam for the commercial division, ranking number 11. And Jefferson Mary, number 2, Remax Lions out of Green Hills. The role of a real estate agent is not just to be a deal maker. They're also a trusted financial advisor. This is so true because one of the most important investments a person can make in his lifetime is actually purchasing a real estate property. And the real estate property, more often than not, it will comprise 40 or 50% of his net worth. So whenever I educate my staff, before sasabi na, ay broker lang yan, I tell them, no, we're financial advisors. Some of the most important decisions, some of the happiest days of their lives will be in the house that you probably sold them or probably leased to them. So I always tell them, you dignify yourself. We are actually trusted financial advisors. In fact, if a person will invest in stock market or mutual funds, it's much lower than probably their home acquisition. What do you find common with all these people you see here? The 10 richest, is it 10? 2, 4, 6? 12. The 12 richest families in the Philippines. Henry C. has SNDC. John Romway has Robinson's Land. Enrique Razon has Soler. Lucio Tan has Eton. Tony Tan Kapyong, Double Dragon. George T. has Federal Land. Manny Villar, Camellia, Vista, and the entire collection. Andrew Tan, of course, of Mega World. Ramon Ang, one of the largest property owners in Forbes Park, Wakwak, and Ayala Alabang, in his personal capacity. Robert Clayton, I'm not so sure if he has real estate, but I'm sure he has some personal assets. Eduardo Congo, one of the richest men in Australia. Yes, he owns the largest ranch in Australia. And Bob Pin has, of course, Alpha Land and Palisin. So, the common denominator, if you aspire to become a billionaire, it starts with real estate, right? So, what do you think will be the market like in a few years? I think it will still be very good. I have a question. What is the median age here in the Philippines? Anyone? Median age?
40.
40?
40.
45? Any other guess? 30. 23.4 years old.
Median.
Why do I point this out? Anyone here 23 years old?
Adi. In real estate.
In real estate, 23. Okay. Why do I point this out? Because these are kids who are just out of college. So more than 50% of the population are 23.4 years old. What does that mean? In the next 5, 10, 15 years, they will buy the real estate property. So when people ask me, Eddie, will the property prices crash or will it still continue? This is my answer. Not even the most intelligent person, not even the best brokers can tell you if it will go up or down. Only God can tell us if it will go down, up or down. But in the real world, if you align all the stars together and everything continues, the real estate property market in the Philippines will continue to increase because we are blessed with a young population. We are blessed with some of the hardest working people in the world. Do you know 10% of our population, that's 10 million, work abroad? Of the 200 countries out there in the world, all of them have Filipinos in it. I remember a friend of mine visited North Korea on a job. He had a job interview, I don't know why. And he said, you can't believe it, everyone in the hotel lobby, they're all Filipinos. They're all working. I remember we went on a cruise ship off Florida. Of the 2,000 staff, 700 were Filipinos. And these are not housekeepers. These are from the stewards, the room attendants, all the way to the vice captain, across the board. So one of the greatest resources are really manpower. And what better way it is to work abroad, earn dollars, and bring it back to the Philippines. That's how we experience it here in the Philippines right now. That's why, noong 2008, we were so much resilient by the Lehman Brothers crisis. The whole world crashed. The Philippines actually even increased constantly. Thanks to the overseas foreign workers. They were pumping so much of the much needed dollars in the Philippines, and it saved us. You know, in 2011, we were actually under IMF program, so we were borrowing money from other countries. You know what now? Spain, Portugal, Italy, we're now lending them. $1 billion of Philippine money is now being lent to them. Baliktad na ngayon, dati tayo umuutang, ngayon tayo nagpapautang. Okay, whenever I have new Remax agents coming to me, they always say, I want to learn DASMA, I want to learn Forbes, I want to learn Ordineta, I want to learn the multi-million-dollar sale. I tell them, Iho, the market is in the mid-range property because the ultra high-end, it's really for a small niche of the market. But then most of the population are really in the price range of 5 million to what, 30, 35 million pesos. So that's where you concentrate. Dito kayo yaman, hindi sa multi-million peso sales. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of transactions to be made in the middle income segment. And if you want to deal with any of our offices, we have 22 offices around the Philippines to handle, and we just opened in Clark recently, one of the fastest growing cities in the Philippines. Of course, we're also heavy in social media. 79% are actually using Facebook of our clients. And then, whenever we upload a video, our numbers increase in the viewing of properties. This is a whole new session, which I hope to do sometime in the future. But then right now, it's technological age. I remember when I graduated from college in the mid-1990s. Also tech-savvy, ako yung pinakamagaling. Now I'm just struggling to keep up with the millennials who are so advanced and they could whip up a marketing campaign in just one snap of a finger. Let me end with this. This is one of my favorite quotes. To go fast, dream alone. To go far, dream with someone else. I'm really glad that Robert really invited us to speak here. And I'm very much impressed that when you say 10 o'clock, 9:58, everyone's inside. Parang, I think, on time is a new Philippine time. And sana, it should be. Thank you very much and good morning.
We're going to pick up a couple of cards for giveaways again. Okay.